Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for registering and for your time to attend FCORE webinar session. Let's just wait for the others to come in. We will start in 5 minutes. Please use this time to check unattended emails or for a quick bathroom break. Again, thank you for coming and we will start in 5 minutes. Thank you. Hi everyone. I think it's already past 5 minutes in my clock. We can start. We have already 20 plus attendees. Thank you for coming to FCORE webinar session for this afternoon. This is Crystal, Marketing Manager from VBusiness. Just a brief background of what we're going to tackle for today. You can see the agenda on the screen. We have today Ms. Karen Bulaong, SAP Sales Manager of Fasttrack, to discuss about the solutions overview and company background of Fasttrack Solutions. Next is we have Mr. Lou Anlap, Solutions Architect Manager from Fasttrack, to discuss about SAP Business One as a solution and will walk us through on the SAP Business One demo. And lastly, for the third speaker, we have Ms. Quina Ke from VBusiness, the KUBE Business Operations Head, to discuss later on KUBE Workspaces as a work from home desktop as a service solution. For direct questions to our speakers during our session, you may also raise your hand so that the speaker will be notified. You may also ask via the question box as you can see on the right side of your screen. Please like also VBusiness Facebook page to be updated on our upcoming webinars and events and to also know more about our other solutions. You may scan the QR code that you can see on the lower right side of the screen to be directed on our Facebook page. If you don't have a QR scanner, you may go and search us on Facebook. Just type VBusiness Software and Solutions Inc. We all appreciate your presence and for giving us time even in this current ECQ situation that we have. As announced earlier this morning, we are now on the second round of ECQ extension up until May 15. And it is really saddening for the economy, especially for small businesses, right? But this is also a perfect time to realize the importance of business continuity plan and work from home operations execution. We hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy at home. And VBusiness is really maximizing the situation by giving free webinars to you with the help of our partners. So we're really thanking Fasttrack Solutions for making this webinar possible. All right, without further ado, let me give the floor to our first speaker to discuss about FDSI company background and solutions overview. Let's welcome SAP Sales Manager, Ms. Karen Balaong. Ms. Karen, I'll transfer the screen.
Thank you, Crystal, for that introduction. I'm just change my and to share my desktop with you. Let me check. Hold on for a second. Okay. Is everyone see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, Ms. Karen, go ahead.
Okay. So again, thank you for this opportunity to present with you our company and of course to share to everyone what Fasttrack can do to help your company to maximize your capability by using an ERP system for you to have your visibility on your operation during this time of pandemic. Okay, so first I'm gonna give you a very brief overview about our company. We will tell you what we do and what is our relationship with SAP. So SAP is the number one world's largest business software, and it was originated in Waldorf, Germany. And Fasttrack is the first and only platinum partner of SAP here in the country. Actually, the company is founded way back 2005, where this is also the year that SAP Business One brought here in the country. We're also a 100% SAP company. Why? Because we are only selling all the products under the line of business of SAP. So meaning to say we are very focused and skilled in terms of SAP product and solutioning. We are consistently one of the top performer in SEA region, and we have experience in serving more than 200 plus clients. And to top all of this, we have dedicated support team and research and development team. Okay, so for our research and development team, these are the the team within Fasttrack who do the continuous innovation or development of the system. At the same time, we have the support team who serve as our support hub in serving all of our clients, not only here in the Philippines, but also with our implementation outside of the country. So Fasttrack head office is located in Valero Tower in Makati, but we also have offices in Cebu and Davao. This is to cater our clientele on the Visman area. So aside to this, we also have presence in Singapore, Myanmar, and we also have ongoing implementation in Taiwan and as well as in Micronesia. As I've said a while ago, Fasttrack is only selling or very focused on selling all the products under the line of business of SAP. So as you can see, we have the SAP Business One. So this is the solution that we're gonna present to you this afternoon. And then we have SAP Business by Design. This is the full cloud solution of SAP. We also have SAP Business All-in-One. This is the higher version of SAP. So normally, ang gumagamit nito are those company who has complex business process. So the likes of P&G, URC, San Miguel. So there's other companies using SAP Business All-in-One. In terms of reporting, we position SAP Business Analytics. So it's more of dashboard reporting and interactive type of reporting. Okay, and then as you can see on the right side, we have the pay factor for our payroll and timekeeping. We have B1 Bloom for our van selling, and we also have Scan Plus for barcode solution. So these are some of the customized or developed solution na ginawa ni Fasttrack to complement yung mga solution ni SAP. So what we do, ini-integrate namin tong mga solution na to all the products within the SAP, the likes of Business One, by Design, or All-in-One. And then for the services, we have Fasttrack Support. This is our support hub. And we also have Fasttrack Academy. So this is a certified school or testing center of SAP. So aside to this one, we also have education partners. So sila rin yung talagang naka-front with our education partners. So right now we have more than 70 plus partner nationwide. And then we have this BPO. So it's more of augmentation. So like for example, we have ongoing implementation of SAP, and then someone from the client's end resigns, so we need to fill that gap. So we can deploy someone na pwedeng maging project manager para at least continue yung project natin. And then for the channel, so these are some of our extended business members. So as I know, lahat tayo, medyo yung mga attendees natin might ask, bakit Fasttrack, we are presenting our company, but the one who organizes is Value Line. So Value Line is one of our extended business member. So that is why they invite us to join this session. And then for the hardware, so we have the IBM and HP. And then, as I've said a while ago, we have education partners. So some example are University of the East, UPITTC, Informatics. Okay, so right now kasi as Philippines called SAP country, so meaning to say majority of the companies are using SAP. So ang ginawa natin right now is in-incorporate na natin sa curriculum ng mga schools para at least if ever na yung mga clients natin, they wanted to get someone to be on board na knowledgeable na with the system, then we can share with you yung mga list of schools na to na ino-offer na talaga nila or tinuturo na talaga nila yung SAP. So some of the example na courses who have this is yung mga accountancy, IT, those are the courses na meron ng SAP Business One inside their curriculum. And then for hosting partner, of course, we have Amazon Web Services. Okay, so these are some just some of the lists that we have in terms of the clientele that we have. So as you can see, we have more than 200 multi-industry. Okay, so for the retail and distribution and importation, so our biggest clients on that industry are Rustans and URC. So URC, kanina na mention ko, URC is using the all-in-one. Yes, but that is intended for their core system. Ang gumagamit talaga nito, it's the head office of Universal Robina Corporation. But their regional distributor, which they have 68 regional distributors nationwide, they're using SAP Business One. So ang ginawa namin dito, in-integrate namin yung SAP Business One with their system, which is we call it SAP ECC or the S4 HANA. Okay, so some brands na nakikita nyo dito, I believe you are very well familiar, the likes of Yabu, Sony Studios, Next Trade, and then we have Bonchon, Alphamart, of course, and then Felcris, this supermarket in Davao, and then we have Espapil, for those who know yung Molinera brand, so sila yan, and then Herco, and then for agriculture, chemicals, mining, and marine, we have the Permex, and then Musahamat, Crystal Sugar Company, All Asian Counter Trade, and many more. So for the manufacturing, our biggest is Nissan Philippines. They're using SAP Business One right now. Asian Transmission, HSG, of course. Sojitz, Baguio Oil, and Wellmade. Okay, for pharma, we have Taisho, Shimadzu, GX International, ADP Pharma, and ATC. Okay. So for the transportation, we have JRS, Toyota Handling, Polar Bear, Shogun Ships, and then ASPAC as well. And then for oil and gas and services, so we have Refill, Sea Oil, Telstra, DTSI, 5GS, and even CNN is also using SAP Business One. For the construction, we have CM Pancho, Tokwing, Wildesena, ASEC Development and Corporation, and of course, Easy de Luna. And then for our pay factor, this is our payroll and timekeeping solution. So right now, the biggest user of this solution is Landers, Kuya J, Bello, ASEC Development, and GX International. Okay, so these are the list of the schools that already offering as SAP Business One as part of their curriculum. So we have the BSBA, BSIT or IS, and then BSCS and BSIT. And then for our value proposition, so during yung sa second slide ko kanina, so nakita nyo na sabi ko nga, meron kaming research and development team. So these are some of the customization na ginagawa namin with other clients just in case na hindi enough sa kanila or hindi enough yung lahat ng modules ng SAP to cater their requirements. So the likes of Universal Robina nga na-mention ko kanina, we do the integration between the regional distributors in their core system or the head office. And then for Davis, so we do the counter receipt add-on for them. Okay. So once you purchase SAP Business One, these are the standard or pre-configured module within the SAP. So as you can see, we have 6 modules within the within the system. So that is accounting and financials, purchasing and operation, sales and service. We have inventory and distribution, production and MRP, and project management. So later, yung next presenter natin will do in-depth explanation about all the modules within the SAP Business One and what will be the benefit of this to your organization. Okay, so moving to implementation timeline, so we follow implementation methodology. So we have this 4-phase implementation that we are doing normally to our client. Actually, this is one of our main differentiator over other competitor or partner of SAP. Okay, so we normally do the pre-project or the project scoping, so that is part of the preparation. So after we do the contract signing, we will proceed with the pre-project planning, wherein yung team ni client and yung team ni Fasttrack will discuss what are the pre-needed documents prior dun sa start ng implementation natin. And then we'll do a very short gathering lang. So we call it project kickoff, wherein the clients or our customer will meet the directors of Fasttrack para naman, alam yan, ma-appreciate nila, and at the same time, sila mismo magbigay sila ng full commitment nila doon sa project natin so that we will have a very successful implementation of SAP. And then after we do the project kickoff, we will proceed with the detailed scope and analysis, wherein in here, we do the business process documentation, or what we call the as is and to be process. And then, so part of our steps, we do the definition of your business process. We will define it. We will review it and study your current business operation. Then later, we will map it to your, we will map this, we will map it based on your business process to SAP Business One. And then after we do this, we will proceed with the configuration and testing. So we will do the installation to your server or workstation. We will configure your forms and other reports, and set up of master files and other policies, as well as the UAT, or the unit and integration testing. And then after the configuration and testing, we will proceed with the training and cut over. So this is the transition for the preparation for go live. So we will make sure na prior dun sa ating full-blown use of the system, well-equipped or well-known yung mga user natin on how to transact within SAP. And then lastly, ito na yung ating project go live, wherein the customer will use religiously the system, and then from there, we will monitor or we will assist you during your go live. So after the go live, we will still give our clients an extended 3 months warranty, wherein we always suggest that they stress test the system, so that if ever na may mga ma-encounter pa tayo na problem or any errors, we can still request the project team to go on site and fix it with you. Right? Thank you for listening to me. So I'll turn over this presentation to Angelou, so that you would see the beauty and the capability of SAP Business One. Again, thank you. So if you have any other question, you can put your questions on the question tab, so that we could see and we can answer your questions. All right, thank you. Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, Miss Karen. I think we have one question here from one of our attendees. Mr. Arvin said, do you will you present the cost of the SAP? And another question is, how long does the implementation timeline, or how long is the timeline of the implementation?
Okay, for the cost, what I can only give you is a estimate about how much is the cost of the license. But for the implementation, we cannot give you an accurate proposal because or accurate costing of this one. Because sabi ko nga kanina, we need to do a proper scoping. So, as you can see, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng modules. So, meron tayong tinatawag na, ano ba talaga yung core modules natin? So, that is the financial, the purchasing, and the sales or the inventory. So, and then, pwedeng kung ang need ni client is talagang meron pa siyang production. So, iba rin yung nagiging cost nung project natin. Depende siya kung ano-ano yung mga modules na kailangan natin i-implement at kung ano talaga yung kailangan nyo. And then for the implementation timeline, so normally dun sa mga standard talaga, we can do implementation about 3 to 6 months. But that is aggressive approach. I mean, we need 100% commitment from the customer and syempre as well as Fasttrack. So, pero it can go more than 6 months, depende dun sa availability ng mga data na kailangan natin during configuration. So yun, meron din talaga tayo mga variables during the implementation. Okay. But for SAP Business 1, so yung pinaka-minimum talaga natin, I could say mga at the minimum 1.5 and can go up to 10 million, depende kung yun nga, dun sa need and dun sa complexity ng business process. Alright?
Alright, thanks Miss Karen. And siguro nasagot yung questions. If ever na you have questions, please feel free to still chat on the question box. Or siguro mas better to have a separate session to discuss talaga further on the requirement or the specific assessment para at least we can guide you and Fasttrack also can guide you. Okay? So let's proceed with the second part of the session. Mr. Lou Anlap. Sir Lou.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sir Lou.
Okay, and can you see my slides already?
Yep, yes po.
Okay, so let me just add to what Karen presented before I proceed with my actual presentation. So let me just qualify, since part of the investment cost in SAP is the SAP B1 licenses, yung binanggit na cost ni Karen na around, I think, you mentioned, no, minimum 1.5 million,
yes,
the minimum. That that includes, I think, around 3 licenses already. Tama ba, Karen?
Yep. Yes,
yeah.
Lou.
So, of course, if you need more users than that, definitely the price will definitely go higher because we also charge per license aside from the implementation cost, right? So, but for the implementation cost, for the implementation approach, so let me just add this to the presentation. So Karen explained our implementation methodology, but for us to achieve 100% remote implementation, so earlier it was mentioned nga na quarantine is extended. So for us, Fasttrack Solutions, we still continue doing our implementation for all our existing projects, and also all our incoming projects will now be done 100% remotely. So we have Fasttrack Air, which is our accelerated implementation via remote access. So we have invested on tools like our consultant center to be used during the implementation, so that the client has a view on the actual implementation process or in the issues during implementation. And also we have invested on tools like Microsoft Teams for us to collaborate and communicate and do virtual sessions. Also, our clients are free to choose which file management tool you want to use, so that the objective here is to still deliver the system, but without the need of the traditional face-to-face meetings, right? So now, let me proceed with my actual topic for this afternoon. So my objective is to provide you an overview of SAP Business One and how SAP can help how can SAP Business One help you manage your organization during this crisis. So by the way, again, my name is Angelo. So I head the solutions architect team of Fasttrack Solutions. Right. So what is the role of an ERP during a crisis? So before I tell you that, I assume everyone is familiar what ERP is. For those who is not, so ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So basically, an ERP is a software that can help any organization manage the operations on its entirety. So meaning it doesn't cover accounting alone. It covers accounting, inventory, purchasing, sales, and all other aspects of an organization. So for a software to be called an ERP, kailangan meron siyang modules that can cover all of these functions within the organization. So what happens to one organization without an ERP, or pwedeng may system sila but they have different systems for every organization which are not linked to each other. So what happens is, first, inefficient workflow. So meaning, so let's say may order from the salesperson, dapat makarating yung information na yan to the warehouse personnel so that they can prepare the order and they can deliver on time. So it can be done easier if you share the same office. If you are bababa ka lang ng floor or tatawid ka lang to your warehouse, madali mo nang ma-inform si sales or si warehouse na merong order na kailangan i-deliver. Or you can send an email or you can send a text or chat. But these processes are prone to error and yung prone to inaccuracies, and also during this time nga na let's say most of us are working from home, so you can't just cross the street to visit the warehouse to see kung meron ka pa bang stock. So meaning having a system that will give you this information will be very helpful for the organization. Second, having a system in place like an ERP will help will make scaling easier. So let's say if you're just managing a few number of customers, a few number of transactions, having manual processes can be enough. But if you're managing thousands customers, thousands of transactions in a day, it will be difficult to manage your business without a system. Also, there's no single source of truth and there's no visibility across the supply chain if you don't have an integrated system in place. So meaning, pag-check mo dapat pag-generate mo ng inventory report, that is also equal to the supposedly yung what you have physically on hand sa store. And also visibility across the supply chain, meaning let's say the warehouse has visibility on the inventory level that they have, so that they would know how much yung kailangan nilang i-purchase to make sure that they have enough stock to meet the demands of the customer. And speaking of demands, so right now, it's very, the customer demands are getting higher. So mas nagiging demanding mga customer natin. Once they place an order, they want instant feedback when their orders are expected to be delivered, and they want it to be delivered on time. So having a system in place will help you monitor the customer's order, will help you monitor if you're meeting the demands of your client. Also, it will help you level set expectations. So for example, there's an order for a customer, but yun nga, since there's a scarcity of supplies and raw materials, you cannot deliver on time. So the next question is, when can you deliver the order? So if you have a system in place, it will help you provide this information to level set expectation na, ay ma'am, we cannot deliver today, but next week po, we have an incoming delivery, so we can deliver sa inyo next week yung order nyo. So if you can provide this kind of information, it will help increase or build the relationship that you have with your customers. Lastly, having a system in place will help you leverage on technology. So right now, most of the orders are being placed online. So if you have an e-commerce platform already in place, and then it will help if you have an ERP in the back office so that it can consolidate all orders for you to process the delivery and invoicing. At the same time, it will give your finance team, it will give your, if you give your finance team information on who are to be invoiced and sino yung kailangan mo makolektang mga users, because collection is very important then because cash is king. So that you need to be liquid in order to survive this crisis. So all of this can be addressed by having or having an ERP can help you address all of these concerns. So that's why I'd like to introduce to you SAP and the different solutions of SAP. So let me just go to, so just a quick trivia lang. So SAP is a German brand. So SAP stands for a German term, but roughly in English, ito po yung meaning niya: Systems, Applications, Product, and Data Processing. So hindi po ito yung social amelioration program na 5,000 to 8,000 per family na binibigay. So this is a SAP po is a brand of software, a brand of ERP that is available in the market, right? So but as an organization, SAP has been around since 1972. So they have just celebrated their 48th year this April, and then they are the number one ERP software in the market. So these are just some examples of the leading companies who are using SAP in their back office as the ERP. In the Philippines, ito naman po sila. Yan. So most of the large conglomerates in the Philippines are all using SAP. Yan. Also in consumer products, San Miguel, URC, P&G, right? The SM Group as well. Right. So but you might be wondering, so but ito malalaking company to, I'm just an SME, can I afford SAP? Right. So that concern might be true siguro 20 years ago, but 2004 SAP wanted to penetrate the SME market. That's the time they introduced SAP Business One. So on this slide, you can see how SAP positions their different ERP products to different organizations based on their size. So for large enterprises, we have SAP S/4HANA. For mid-enterprise market, we have SAP Business All-in-One and SAP Business by Design. And then, but for the small to mid-size market, we have SAP Business One. And then SAP Business One can be deployed both on-premise and on cloud. But during this situation, it is, and also even kahit naman walang pandemic or crisis, we still recommend our clients to go SAP Business One on cloud, because having your system on cloud, you don't have to procure a server, you don't need to bother on maintaining it physically. So, but because having it on cloud, we can just create your instance in Amazon Web Services, and then we can configure and install your software remotely, right? So without the need of having to go to your office to install the software in your server, right? So now, so these are the different business areas that are SAP Business One can handle for an organization. So definitely, meron siyang management and administration to cover user ID, authorization, and approval procedures. We also have accounting and financials that covers journal entries, collections and disbursements. And then we also have inventory and distribution to maintain all your warehouses and stock keeping units. We also have production and MRP for those manufacturing companies that you need to define your bill of materials. We also have project and resource management. This is usually applicable for the construction companies. We also have sales and service module that will handle your order to cash process, and then purchasing and operations to handle your procurement process. So these are a more detailed listing of the different features and functionalities that you can perform in SAP Business One. So, but at this point, let me just switch to a different window to show you the actual interface of SAP Business One. Okay. So, let me just switch slides. Right. So, can everyone see now my screen? I'm sharing with you SAP Business One interface. Karen, can you see the SAP Business One interface?
So I can see your slide.
No, I'm sharing the SAP Business One. Nakikita niyo?
No.
Okay. All right. How about now?
Yeah. Nakikita pero
Okay na.
yan. Yes.
Okay, so you're seeing SAP Business One na, no?
Yep.
Okay, great. So now, let me just show you. So this is an actual interface of SAP Business One version 9.3 on SQL database. We have another version of SAP Business One, which is SAP Business One on HANA. So but basically, both system has the same functionalities. Yung HANA lang comes with built-in analytics. Right. But for this demo, I'll just show you the standard SAP Business One functionalities. So I'll just give you a glimpse of what you can do in SAP Business One so that you can appreciate better how the system can help your organization. So as mentioned, so having enough information is very important. So that's why, let's say for example, SAP Business One, we have an item master data wherein you can see the details of your item. So for SAP Business One, so for example, we have here an item master data record. You can see details like purchasing data and sales data. But most importantly, in terms of inventory monitoring, it is important for you to view your warehouses and how many inventory you have in each warehouse. And then you can also see how much yung committed na to a customer. So committed, this represents your open order. So meaning, na-accept mo na yung orders, but these are the items that you need to deliver to your customers. Order, this represents your open purchase order. So meaning, you purchase, nag-send ka na ng PO, but you haven't received the items yet. So available quantity that's in stock minus committed plus ordered. So this information is very helpful for you so that you would know how much you can still commit to your clients. Now, if you want to see the breakdown of each figure, you can just right-click and view the available to promise report. So it will show you the expected timing of your ordered quantity. So meaning ito yung expected delivery date sa'yo ng supplier, and then committed naman, it will show you the expected delivery date to your customer. So having this information, you can plan and prioritize orders kung sino uunahin, especially if you're running out of stock. Right. So we also have minimum and maximum inventory level. So yung minimum inventory level, this is very important to make sure that you have enough stock in your warehouse to meet the demands of your client, especially if you have a long lead time in terms of producing the items or in terms of procuring it from your supplier. Having enough minimum inventory level will make sure that once you're running low on the stocks, so you still have enough time to place an order para pagdating ng order mo, sakto lang na to replenish yung naubusan ka ng mga stock na items. Right. So aside from the item master data, of course, we have business partner master data. So business partner master data will show you information about your customers and suppliers. So let's say for a customer, let me pull out one customer master data record. This is Maxitech, one of my customers. So I can see complete general details or contact information of my customer, even my ship to and bill to addresses. But also on this side, I can monitor figures like open order. So meaning, these are the items na in-order niya sa akin but I haven't delivered yet. Account balance naman are the items that I have invoiced but I haven't collected from this customer yet. So let's say if I want to see all the invoices na meron ka ako for this customer, just click on the golden arrow button so that you can see all the open invoices that I have for this customer. So this really helps in terms of monitoring your AR and liquidity. So for example, like from this report, I can go to the aging report. I can just remove the filter of customers so that I can see the aging for all customers. Right, so this customer receivable aging shows me all my customers, their balance due to me, and the breakdown per aging interval. Right, so you can see here the breakdown for each time bucket of aging interval. If you want to see the details, you can just drill down so that you can see the aging per specific invoice. Okay. So this is very important. So you would know who to follow up, or maybe you would know which customer should like to extend their payment terms. Diba ngayon, some or many organizations are extending their payment terms for their clients. So for you to see this, your aging report will also give you that information. Sino ba yung pwede kong or i-request na extend yung payment terms nila from us. Okay. Okay, so at this point, let me just run through a simple scenario of a sales process and how it is done in SAP Business One. So imagine you're a distributor, tapos everyone is working from home, may tao pa naman kayo sa warehouse, so pwede pa rin kayo makapag-deliver. Ayan. But yung sales people natin are working from home and the finance people are working from home. So they're not in the same office. So mangyari, customer's order will be placed either from an e-commerce portal or directly kay sales person sila makaka-order. So mangyayari, si salesperson will receive the order. So pwede natin gamitin yung mga common function widgets natin. For example, configure natin common function para dito na siya mag-click. So in creation of a sales order, just click sales order. Tapos, select the customer kanino nang galing yung order. And then, select the items ordered by the customer. So we can select multiple items. And then, indicate the quantity ordered by the customer. Let's say, malaki yung order niya. Sabi niya, 100,000 yung order. So the system has this item availability check that tells you na 100,000 ang order pero available is 1,000 lang. What's your next action? Continue accepting the 100,000 order change kung to 1,000 lang, which is available quantity. Would you like to see kailan yung expected delivery by displaying the available to promise? Do you want to see your stock in other warehouses? Kasi itong 1,000, this is for warehouse 1 lang eh. You might have other warehouses that might have the level of inventory na needed ng customer mo. Or baka may alternative items kayo, hindi pwede yung product A003, baka I have an alternative item that I can offer to my customer. Or I can just delete row and not accept the order. So let's say delete row na lang ako. Right, so I'm placing an order for 5 units for A0001 and 02. And then I have to indicate the delivery date when the customer is expecting my order. So let's say April 30. And then just add the document. So adding a sales order will create. So we have created sales order number 756. So at this point, the warehouse will now have visibility of all open orders. So I can see here. So let me just configure this to show open sales order in my dashboard. So in my dashboard, so I can see that I have 50 open sales orders. If I click here, it will show me all the orders that I need to prepare for delivery. So this includes sales order number 756 that we have just created just now. So if I want to view the details, click on the golden arrow button. So imagine the warehouse personnel can have a viewing of this open sales order so that they would know which orders are needed to be processed or delivered. Then they can just copy the details to a delivery document. Right. Then add. So now we have created delivery number 853. So we can customize the layout, you can print this out or send via email so that you can or print this out and then kasama siya sa delivery natin. Right. Okay, so the impact of creating a delivery document also includes reduction of inventory. So it will update the system na nabawasan ng inventory mo sa warehouse. Right. So after delivery, next process dyan should be invoicing na. So si Finance, naka-work from home din siya, kailangan ma-invoice si client. So pwede niya rin niyang ma-access yung mga open deliveries. So, add lang natin. So, open deliveries naman, this represents delivered items but not yet invoiced. So as a finance person, before you process a billing, you have to make sure na deliver na talaga. So, if you access the open deliveries report, so you would see sino yung mga customers na dapat mong senda ng invoices. So at this point, so makikita na natin na, okay, ito pala yung kailangan ko ng invoice kasi na-deliver na. So the process is the same in terms of user interface. And then after delivery, collection din naman yan. So which is part of the banking module. Okay. So we have, there are many other functionalities of SAP Business One that I'd like to show you. But of course, we have limited time only for this webinar. So if you are interested to know more about SAP Business One and also what are the other functionalities that we have in SAP that can help your organization during crisis or beyond the crisis, so just let us know and you may contact your salesperson from Value Line and Fasttrack so that we can set up a meeting for you so we can help you assess then if SAP Business One is a right fit for your organization. Okay, so I think that's it for me for this afternoon. And after me, we have another presenter, and then after that, we can proceed to answering your questions. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Sir Lou. Again, if you have any questions direct to Sir Lou or any of our speakers for today, please key in on the question box that you can see on the right side of your screen. Later on, after the third presenter, which is Miss Quina, we will answer all of your questions. And also, One question here is if we will send to you the recorded session of this webinar. We will upload this on our Facebook page, so please feel free to like our Facebook page, search VBusiness Software and Solutions Inc. All right, let's proceed with our third presenter. We have Miss Quina Ke to discuss about KUBE Workspaces. Miss Quina.
Yes, thank you, Krista. Good day, everyone. Again, thank you so much for the time to join us today for our webinar. My name is Quina Ke. I'm the business unit head for KUBE Cloud Solutions, and I would be talking about Amazon Workspaces, which is a very timely BCP solution that we can leverage on as we proceed on working from our home. So let me introduce as well our company. So VBusiness is a spin-off company of Value Line, which has been in the industry for already 20 years. And VBusiness is one of the pioneer partners of Amazon Web Services in the country. So currently, we're an advanced consulting partner wherein we help both private and public sector in implementing their projects on cloud. As mentioned also earlier, we are a partner of Fasttrack in terms of hosting SAP on AWS. Okay, so next, let's talk about business continuity plan or BCP. So this is actually the process for creating a system wherein we would be able to prevent threats to our company and also be able to recover our operations in the event of such threats. Now, threats can come in different forms. This can come in a form of a natural disaster, such as flooding, fire, earthquake, or also through man-made threats like cyber attacks, viruses, ransomware, and also through office vandalism. And such as what we are experiencing right now is a pandemic attack, which we definitely experience the effect of it on our business operations as of the moment. So as we are transitioning to a new norm in working from our homes, we see an impact on how we usually do our operations. It's now shifted. So it's very timely for us to try to evaluate what are the BCP solutions that we can leverage on in order for us to maintain a productivity that is acceptable for our business. So how are customers responding to COVID-19? So one response that our customers are doing right now is implementing a BCP to minimize disruptions to their operations. So this is where work from home setup is imposed in order for us to have a flexible work arrangements, also not just to comply with the government, but as well as to maintain the security of our employees while at the same time maintaining a acceptable productivity for our operations. Another response that we're experiencing right now is we are seeing the power of technology as we are able to collaborate. So usually we do this seminars face to face in a hotel or in an office, but right now as we are observing social distancing, we are doing this collaborative webinar through the power of technology. So this is how we usually see how customers are responding to nowadays situation. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we will be talking about workspaces. So AWS Workspaces is one of the BCP solution that we can leverage on. So this is a fully managed desktop computing service in the cloud. So meaning we just provision the workspace account to your employees. We don't have to manage back end any of the OS of these accounts. So this is accessible through different platforms such as your desktop, your laptops, even your tablets. So whether iPad or Android tablets, this is accessible. Now, what help does it does? So one is it eliminates the complexity in managing your inventory. It lessens the capital expense on your company in the event of a disaster or a threat. Instead of investing on hardware laptops to be available on the side, you can instead spin up your workspaces whenever you need it, turn it off when you don't need it anymore. And then this also helps in maintaining standardization in terms of the access and control of the virtual desktops that your employees are using. So there are a lot of uses for Amazon Workspaces. Now let's talk about the benefits of AWS Workspaces. So first one is the coverage. So AWS Workspaces is available in a lot of region in AWS. So currently we have 23 regions across the world. So imagine if you are a company that you are very interested in hiring employees from other countries, you can use Workspaces to control and manage the applications and resources your employees are accessing. So this is very useful in maintaining your global in having a leverage on having a global reach for the operations of your business. Next is speed. So workspaces, again, since it is virtual, so we can spin up a workspace account for your employee in a matter of minutes. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to wait for days before it can be accessible. So again, just within minutes. Next benefit is scalability. So you can scale up or down your BCP requirements, your desktop requirements whenever you need it. So let's say, for example, you have an employee working on a project today that doesn't require any high specs laptop or desktop, then we can provision a certain standard specification for your workspace. But later on, when that same employee have to work on an application that requires a high specs laptop or workspace or desktop, then we can provision a workspace account that is high, let's say, in graphics. So we can have that sense of flexibility in scaling up or down the resources that you need based on the projects that your employees or your company is working on. Another benefit is the service level agreement. So Amazon has this commitment to their customers that the service is readily available and it is reliable and it has a 99.9% uptime commitment. So you can expect that whenever you need this service, this would be available, and you can expect that your operations won't be affected when the time comes that you need to use this BCP solution. Another benefit that is actually very crucial is having that opportunity to transform your capital expenditure to your operational expense. So you get to save a lot in terms of having your own BCP solutions when you run your virtual desktops on cloud. So what we're experiencing right now is as our operations are being hampered, financial wise, it can also be hampered. So having that capability of having a pay-as-you-go model of subscription, wherein you only pay for what you use whenever you need it, is very important in terms of having this also being implemented and approved by your management. And of course, the benefit, which is very important, is security and compliance. So no data on the end user's device is stored. So especially if you're a BPO, if you're a bank, any industry that is very sensitive on data privacy, sensitive on having a standard security like ISO 27001 compliance, you can leverage on workspaces to have an assurance for your end user customers that their data won't be stored on your employees' personal devices, even when they are working from home. So this is one very important benefit that you can leverage on when you are using workspaces. Now, what are the other features of workspaces? So I mentioned earlier functionality. So there are a lot of uses for your workspaces. So this is not just applicable for this pandemic situation that we have. Again, there are other threats that we can that the workspaces can serve its purpose. There are streaming protocols. We have different workspaces bundles. So later on, I would show the different bundles for workspaces. You can have an opportunity to bring your own licenses. So for example, if your employees are using Windows 10, then you can bring your own licenses if you have that, as long as you have the enterprise plan, which is a minimum of 200 users. But again, if you want a fully managed one, then you don't need to bring your own license. We can create a workspace user account for you, which already includes the license for the Windows. It's easy for provisioning, again, it's secure and encrypted, so data that is being streamed or data that is being processed within your Workspaces account are encrypted for the storage. And then let's talk about the Active Directory. So if ever that you have requirement to integrate your own premise Active Directory to your Workspaces account, then that is okay. We can definitely do that. But let's say, for example, you don't want to integrate your own Active Directory and have your own separate authentication on cloud, then we can also do that through AWS Managed Active Directory service. Persistent storage. So the good thing about Workspaces is the storage is persistent. So even if your employee stops using Workspaces, when they log back in, every data that is stored in there won't get lost. So everything is secured, and everything is assured that the data the storage would be durable and would be able to store your files securely. Now, also in terms of access, so you can access your Workspaces through your desktop, through your laptops, even through your mobile phones. And regardless of the laptop device that your employee may have, as long as they have web access, like for example, if they have Google Chrome, they can also access their Workspace account through their Google Chrome. Okay. Now, I mentioned about the different Workspaces bundles. So we have in here bundles from the value up to the graphics pro. So if you would observe, the bundles vary depends on the requirement of your company. So it can be a value of, let's say on the value bundle, we have 2 gig of memory, 1 virtual CPU. While for the graphics pro, it can go up to 122 gig of memory and 16 virtual CPUs. So it's a mix and match, depends on what the load of work your employee is doing. And again, you can terminate this anytime that you don't need it in order to save on your expenses. Now, points to ponder before I end my discussion. These are the things that you would like to ask your company or your team before you decide on implementing Workspace. So, like for example, given the COVID-19 situation, are you in the process of implementing flexible work arrangements like work from home? If ever you're already doing it now, do you see Workspaces as another platform for you to improve security for your resources while you implement work from home for your employees? Next is you have to consider how many BCP users are you planning to target. Since our license is a subscription based, per employee is 1 account. So you have to consider which are the employees that really needs those Workspaces accounts. Next is where are they located? So I mentioned earlier that we have 23 regions across the world. So let's say, for example, if all your employees are here in the Philippines, then we can implement your Workspace accounts in the nearest region, which is in Singapore. Or if it's varied, if it's located in different countries, then we can plot the Workspace accounts coming from the country nearest to them. Now, what endpoint devices will they be using? So are they going all to be using laptops? Are there someone going to be using tablets? So we need those in consideration when we do the implementation plan for you. And one thing to ponder as well is, do you have an on-premise AD or AWS AD? So this is in regards to the Active Directory integration that I mentioned earlier. Another thing to ponder is, would you be requiring access to your workspace through a public or private network? So yes, we can do a VPN setup. So let's say a site-to-site setup for your from your on-premise network going to your AWS Workspace account users for an extra layer of security or through compliance purposes sake. So we can do that as well for you. If ever you have a private setup that you would be requiring, so of course you would also need to know what is the existing VPN solution that you are using. Another point to ponder is your BCP users would need to have a full Windows 10 or Linux desktop experience. So I mentioned the different bundles I've shown earlier. We can deploy that either through Windows 10 or Linux. So if you have developers that are working on desktops before in the office using Linux, then with your workspace, we can also provision workspace accounts with Linux license on it. Next is, would your BCP applications be need to be accessed from home or from alternate sites? So we also need to have those information to help you plan out more the proper design or architecture for your workspace account users. And of course, is how long will they be accessing this workspace accounts? This is also in terms of us to help you more manage your subscription in AWS for your workspaces. So these are some of the points to ponder as you think in considering workspaces as one of your BCP solutions that you can implement through the power of cloud. So again, thank you everyone for the time to attend this webinar. And again, you may reach out to us through the chat or through email if ever that you will need a more in-depth discussion about this or a more in-depth discussion about other BCP solutions that we can leverage on AWS. So thank you so much. And again, have a good day. I'll be transferring the floor back to Crystal. Crystal?
All right, thanks Miss Queena for sharing to us about Amazon Workspaces. So this time will be the question and answer portion. I think we have some questions here from our attendees. Let's share the questions because some of it is already answered by the facilitator. So for the sake of others, let's share this, okay? So we have questions for our speakers. I'll just read some. So first question for SAP. Who is SAP's biggest open source competitor and how much is the cheapest Business One package? Can we answer this, Miss Karen, for the sake of others?
Okay, hello, Crystal. Yeah,
Hi,
for
Miss Karen.
yeah, for the question of Sir Robert, who is the biggest open source competitor. So actually, Fasttrack doesn't have visibility on the open source competitor. But right now, we've seen a lot of competitor as SAP, but majority of them are really talaga repayment talaga to or cost talaga nakasama. So if we are looking at open source, meaning to say ito yung mga libre na packages, so I think we will be having hard time to find system that is quite similar to SAP with no cost. And then for the cheapest package, so as I've mentioned a while ago, so 1.5 is the minimum for the SAP. So that is the cheapest package. That one is really for the standard package with a minimum number of okay, hello.
Okay, thanks, Miss Karen. Another question. So I think this one is for SAP B1 also and for Amazon Workspaces, which is for VBusiness. So the question is, do you have an installment or rental scheme payment? So meaning parang special payment terms siguro during ECQ. Can we answer from both sides, Fasttrack and VBusiness? Miss Karen or Sir Lou?
Okay, so for the SAP business one, so we don't have the rental fee payment. What we can offer is a subscription base. So that one would be based on the monthly basis, but there is a lock-in period of the minimum of 1 year.
Okay, Miss Karen, thank you. And for VBusiness, Miss Queena, can we answer this? Do we have an installment or rental scheme payment or any
Okay.
special
So
payment terms? Yeah.
yes. So to answer that question, on the AWS Workspaces side, so this is a subscription model. So actually, if you are a new customer of AWS, they have a program right now that it's actually AWS Workspaces is free up until the end of June. So if you would be subscribing directly to AWS, you could leverage on this. But let's say, for example, after that program, you want to subscribe through VBusiness, we can extend flexible payment terms for that. So in the form of, let's say, an invoicing, which has, let's say, for example, a 15 days term. So again, if the subscription is directly to AWS, you would be required to pay using your credit card. I think also right now, credit card companies are also extending payment terms. So you have multiple options to leverage on in terms of being able to use the solution, but have the flexibility for the payment terms.
All right, thanks, Miss Quina. Again, another question. I think this one can be answered. We have here as one of our organizer, Mr. Ferdinand Tito Santos, VBusiness Technical Sales Engineer. So the question here is, quick question. For example, our AWS is hosted in Singapore. For example, will it be automatically transferred to another country if the Singapore site has having issues like DDoS? Or the different country will have different costs? Sir Tito, can you help us answer on this question for the sake of the others?
Yes, good afternoon. It doesn't automatically transfer because we have at least 3 availability zones in Singapore. And if we want it to be automatically transferred, we will need a cross-region settings. But I think we can do that. But is there a need to do that? Because we have three availability sites in Singapore.
Also, to add also on that, what we can recommend as well, this is actually the main purpose of us partners of AWS. So let's say, for example, if your your AWS account that is hosted in Singapore was attacked by DDoS, one way we can do as an immediate response is to mitigate the source of the issue. So we can help you find out what caused the DDoS, and then we can spin off, let's say, depending on the range of the effect or the cause of the attack, we can either spin off your resources in a different availability zone, especially because in terms of latency, Singapore is still better than putting it up on a different region, unless you have users that are accessing out that is nearest to that different another region. So the best solution for here really is first, it's best for us to find out first what caused the DDoS attack. Maybe then from there we can decide if there is still a need to move your resources from the Singapore region.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Ken and Sir Tito. Another question here, I think it's for VBusiness again. For the uptime SLA, I think this pertains to the 99.119. So the question is, what if the SLA is not met? Can a client get a compensation? The asker is Mr. Roque Banez. Ms. Quina or Sir Tito,
Okay.
please answer.
Yes, so for that, yes, actually, since AWS has this very high service level agreement that is given to us, yes, they provide rebates in terms of your paid subscription. So they have, I think this is available publicly. We can share that maybe after this webinar for the reference document on how they compute rebates or rebates if ever that your services run below the SLA.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Quina. Another question, I think this one is for Sir Lou for SAP Business One. In which application is HANA best suited over MySQL?
Okay, I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly, but yeah, because HANA is a platform, like, that's correct. I think their assumption is correct because you can run other applications in HANA. But as far as ERP applications is concerned, so yes, it's definitely better to run ERP like SAP Business One on HANA because it will allow you to process more volume of transactions, and at the same time, it will eliminate system performance issues related to heavy report generation. So I think for those who is already running a system currently, you might experience minsan when someone is generating a report, yung mga users na nagka-transact, they experience performance issue. So that can be eliminated using the SAP HANA platform. And also using HANA platform will also give you business analytics, which is already built in SAP Business One on HANA. I hope that answers the question po.
Okay, thanks, Sir Lou. Okay, last three questions here is for AWS. So I think Sir Tito can answer this. So I'll just read. Can you also assist if we want to migrate from GCP to AWS? And next, does the support will be on 24/7 basis or depends on the package? Can we share this, Sir Tito?
Actually, I already answered that in the. I already chat the answer now. But for the we also offer migration services. So I think we can check what they want to migrate, and we'll go from there. While for the SLA, there are while for the support, there are different support packages of AWS. I also forwarded the link already.
Okay, Sir Tito.
Sir.
Yeah. The asker is Sir Arvin Kenneth Pasqua from Penn Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we can share the link later. So for the sake of others also. And last question here is, since there is no AWS data center in Philippines, what happens when the Asia America gateway or the submarine cables get damaged? Like in previous years when the SAID gateway was affected, that slowed down even major ISPs or internet service providers. Can we share some insights here, Sir Tito or Miss Quina?
I believe. Okay. I think we will also be affected with this because we are only relying to the telco companies for our connection, for the connections going to Singapore.
Hello, Sir Tito. Okay. Miss Quina, do you have additional insights about this one?
Yes. So for this one, yes, actually, in support to what Sir Tito mentioned, this is actually one area that is out of our control, since since AWS Cloud is accessible via the internet. So we're actually we are at the mercy of the ISP providers that we have right now. In order for us to have access to our resources in the cloud. So hopefully this kind of incident doesn't happen again in the future. But as AWS keeps on innovating and expanding their global infrastructure, and as they continuously communicate with our local government, so hopefully one in the near future they would also be able to launch a region here in the country. So we can stay tuned for that for future announcements from AWS once they are able to proceed with this plan on having a region, hopefully, in our country as well.
Yes, thanks, Miss Quina. Actually, AWS adds region from time to time. So I think ang pinakamalapit from the Philippines is Singapore and also Hong Kong. So that's the newest region nearest here in the Philippines. And hindi naman natin tatanggalin din yung chance din na baka in the near future magkaroon din tayo sa Philippines. Kasi syempre AWS has the access naman on certain or different regions across the globe. Okay, thanks, Sir Marvin Manaloto. So I think that's the last question. If you have further questions for our speakers, you can send an email to us or message us via our Facebook page. We will also upload the session on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. And also to end today's session, I would like to thank everyone for participating for today's VBusiness webinar session with Fasttrack. Please do answer the survey question that will pop up on your screen once you leave the webinar. The survey link will also be sent to you via email after this session. And we would also like to thank our early birds for this afternoon. You know who you are. We are giving away 100 pesos Grab food voucher to our 3 early birds. Please expect an email from us after this session. And congratulations. Again, please do like our Facebook page. You may scan the QR code that you can see on the right side of your screen or search us on Facebook. Just type VBusiness Software and Solutions Inc. I think that's all. I hope we've learned a lot about SAP Business One, Fasttrack, and KUBE Workspaces powered by Amazon Web Services. Please feel free to message us anytime or send an email to us so we can schedule a separate session and discuss specifically about your requirement or on what solution you are interested to know more. On behalf of Fasttrack and VBusiness, thank you everyone. Stay safe and healthy. God bless and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.